Hello and welcome to episode 43 of the Real Serious Podcast, and it is our Lord of the Rings episode. So you can tell we are all dressed up. Right now it's just Jack and myself. Charles will be joining us in a few. His flight was delayed getting back to Denver, so he'll be joining us. Don't worry. He's here to talk Lord of the Rings. He's our resident Lord of the Rings guy. But Jack, how was your Halloween weekend, man?
It was good. It was good. You know, like normally my costumes are kind of like meh, but I put some effort. I mean, specifically my Chick Hicks costume
That was good.
That was a
I like
major
that one.
party pleaser. So everyone really liked that one. But the Batman was pretty simple. I don't know, it was pretty chill. What about you?
I loved all the TikToks. I've seen it, like people doing like Thursday, like
Yeah.
October, and it's just people dressed as Batman by themselves at parties. It's just they're awesome. They're so awesome. No, mine was good. I handed out candy. I wore this as my little costume for the day.
Love it.
I like handing out candy. It's fun. Like seeing all the little kids dressed up. It's a good time. Not as exciting as college going to bars, but the best one was my neighbors are two brothers, and they were Deadpool Wolverine.
Okay, that's dope.
That's pretty awesome.
I mess with that. Is there like a most like popular? You see like people dressed as
they were the only Deadpools. I actually saw a lot of Ghostbusters. I was surprised about the number of ghosts. Yeah, I was like, I don't think there's a lot of Ghostbusters fans that are like little kids, but I guess there is. This hood is driving me nuts.
I was gonna do that, but then I was just kind of like, I feel like it's like it wasn't getting really cold yet, so I was kind of like, I don't know if like
you want to do
especially at bars. I feel like it'd be really hot, you know. Maybe do like cutoffs, but I'm like, I'm not that jacked to actually do that. So
yeah,
I mean, I'm not jacked at all, you know. So
hey, no, don't sell yourself short.
Hey, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah. The Hoosiers are now number 7 in the nation, and they are a wagon. Like they're just so good.
Yeah,
they're so good. Like they don't even look pressured at points, and that is the most amazing thing. Like when they went down 10-0, they looked so calm, like so collected.
Yeah,
I knew it was like so great, so great.
No, I know we were a little nervous. I mean, like down 10-0, like we were like not that we were like, oh, we're gonna lose. We were like, dang, like this might be more of a lot tighter game than I originally.
And then they won by 30.
They went on a 47-0 run.
Yeah, just
had
gross.
our bench players in by 10 minutes to go in the fourth, which is just absurd. So
yes,
8th in the nation, which is crazy. So it'll be interesting to see what the college football playoffs committee wants to give us. But
right now the projected I think is Tennessee.
Okay.
So,
that's crazy.
And then the Lions playing right now have the game on for the second half. Fingers crossed they keep up with the way they've been playing in the first half, and we'll go from there. But yeah, let's just jump into it because we're going to talk a lot Lord of the Rings later on. Also big news. I finally got my Anora tickets.
Love it.
I found one. I found a theater that's close enough where it's like reasonable. So I'm going to go drive on Friday to go see Anora. So next week I'll be able to talk about Anora and what we've been up to in that movie. So let's what you been watching? Let's do that.
Yeah, honestly, it was a really good week. A little bit less stress at school this week, so I was able to get some stuff. I was able to watch some stuff, which was fun. So obviously, Lord of the Rings was able to kind of like grind that out over the last couple of weeks. But I went to see Conclave with my roommate, which we absolutely loved.
I would like.
We saw the trailer for that, and we immediately were like, let's go see it whenever it comes out. And due to the We Live in Time and Venom weekend, we weren't able to see it then. So we went to go see it this past week. Absolutely loved it. Would totally recommend. I think it's in the top 8 for the year for me. I want to say
really
liked it. Really liked it. The score is awesome. Ray Fiennes is awesome. My boy Stanley Tucci is awesome.
No
I got
way.
this for my birthday.
The Tucci.
I love Stanley Tucci.
Have you seen his documentary show where he goes around Italy?
I've seen little bits of it on TikTok. I need to watch the
I watched it. I watched it for last summer with Avery, and it was a great show. Like very informative in a way that I did not expect.
He's just like such a fun, like charismatic, like individual. So it's so much fun to just, I don't know, his energy just pops out of the screen no matter what he's in.
Oh yeah.
So he was great in that as well, but I think it was kind of like overshadowed just by like the main performance. So everything, I really like it. I kind of like that stuff though, kind of like the faith-based kind of like, some people like Silence was really good. I know like First Reformed is another big one that I haven't seen, but it's kind of on my radar. But really love those. And then watched Two Towers, and then I got to see Scream on Halloween night with a packed theater at school. It was awesome. I really liked Scream before this, but this like made me question whether this is like a 5-star movie for me. And I don't think quite yet it is, but I do love this movie. And I think it was funny because watching this with that big of a crowd and like also not the entire audience wasn't just like students. It was
Yeah.
some other individuals as well. So like people that probably could have seen this when it came out. And there were points where when I watched it by myself for the first time, like people were laughing and I was like, oh, like that's actually like funny, you know? I think it's
Yeah.
just weird because initially I came into it like, oh, this is kind of like a horror movie. It's not gonna be that funny. So I found myself chuckling by myself a couple of times, but like with an audience, it was like when something was funny, like everyone would just laugh, or like there'd be like a death that was like kind of funny, like everyone would just laugh. So that was so much fun. And I'd like to go see some more horror movies like in theaters. So that was a really good time. Then I watched Return of the King. So not too crazy, but like enough to where it was really nice. And then me and my roommate are on the season finale for season 2 of Sopranos. So we're slowly making our way
Good
through
stuff.
that. Yeah. What about you?
Real quick before, have you seen on Twitter Indiana Hoosiers Japan?
No.
So it's like a guy in a village in Japan who like found, according to his account, it's that, and he found about Coach Sig, and like his village fell in love with Coach Sig, so they're like hoisting flags and like all watching the Indiana games, which is just like the coolest thing ever.
I gotta look that up.
So
That's
highly
crazy.
recommend looking up. Yeah, it's Indiana Hoosiers Japan. Okay, so for what I watched, I got in the spooky mood a little bit, so I watched Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. I give it
Fire.
3.5 stars. Not as good as I remembered as a kid, but still very solid, like a very solid Scooby-Doo movie. Then I watched Two Towers, which we'll talk about later. I watched on Halloween night as I was handing out candy, It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. I gave it 5 stars. It is just perfect. Just a perfect film. Then I watched Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, which we'll talk about later. Oh, that was a touchdown. We'll talk about in a little bit. And then last night I watched Couples Retreat, a Vince Vaughn comedy, which I give 2.5 stars. It's all right. Like, it was cute. It's a very 2000s comedy. It's a very fine comedy. It's not like it's a life-changing film.
Was that
right.
dare I ask, was
Here,
that like
hang
a
on.
couple's
Live commentary. The Lions are on the 16-yard line. It is 4th and 1, and they are going for it. Oh, man. I think they're trying to make him jump. I don't know if they're actually going to go for this. Oh, they did. They snapped the ball off to Gibbs. Broke away. Touchdown for the boys. Let's go.
best backfield in the NFL by far?
Again. That rocks. Oh, man, that rocks. All right. I don't really know if I have a future in commentating, unfortunately, but
Who knows?
I'm giving the people what they want. Yeah, a little behind the
Exactly.
scenes. All right, wait, what'd you ask?
I was gonna say, was that like a couple's like streaming night where you both watched the same movie? And
No, I started watching it by myself in the basement, and then
Love
my
it.
parents decided to watch it with me. There was like
Love
it started off with the classic like dad stands behind the couch, like I've seen this,
Yeah.
and then slowly migrates to sitting down and watching it.
Hmm.
That is what occurred.
Love it.
It's a great cast, like Vince Vaughn, Jason Bateman, Jon Favreau,
Yeah.
Kristen Bell. Like, I'm like, this is a great cast. It's just a very okay comedy. Like, it doesn't
Sure.
move. It's not up there with those comedies. But yeah, that's all I got. Oh, and then Agatha finale, but we'll talk about that later when we get to it.
Woot woot.
Want to get into some news?
Yes.
All right. Jumanji 3. So I saw this and I was like, Jumanji 3. It's Jumanji 4. It's the 3rd of the reboot, but it's the 4th overall. Like, I was very confused by that. So Jumanji 4, December 11th, 2026. I'm sorry. Who asked for this? Like, there's no way, right? The people were like, I need Jumanji 4.
I mean, is The Rock going to be in this again?
Yeah, it's that group again. So it's The Rock, Kevin Hart, Jack Black. Oh man, what's her name? Oh, Karen Gillan.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like that group again. And these movies have released in December. So they make so much money.
I'm very
So much money.
interested to look at the demographics on the type of people that go and watch Jumanji, you know?
Yes.
I mean, honestly, I saw the first one. I thought the first one was like cool. You know, I was like, oh, that's pretty entertaining. Like, nice. But then the
Yeah.
second one came out. I didn't see the second one, but I don't think it got like amazing reviews. But I'm very interested. I'm sure it's, targeted heavily towards, younger kids as well as like families.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm very interested about like how they make that much money, especially with, some of these movies coming out that I feel like would do better. Like
All right. How much
there's
do you think the first Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, made? It released the
uh
same time as The Last Jedi and the same time as The Greatest Showman. If that helps you.
I'm thinking, because I think obviously if it's enough to make three of them, it's obviously a success. So I'm gonna say like 500 million.
$962 million the first one made.
Almost $1 billion movie.
Almost $1 billion. All right, come on. Now it's like, all right, we had the first one, we calmed down a little bit. How much do you think Jumanji the Next Level made?
Okay, was it on another level financially?
It's less.
Okay, 700.
$800 million. Jumanji the Next Level. Where are the Jumanji heads?
I
Like
don't
who
know. I don't
are
know.
pumped. So it's going to be 7 years between 2 and 3 though, because by the time this one comes out, it'll be 2026, and it was 2019 the last one came out.
Maybe we just need to
Which
revisit these.
also, we should
Episode is gonna go crazy.
Yeah, listen, I like Lord of the Rings, but Jumanji, now we're talking. Just wild that these made all that money.
Yeah.
So, all right, that was the first piece of news. I guess people are there's clearly a fan base for it. It's just not us. This one made me laugh when I saw it on Twitter. So Jeremy Allen White is probably best known for The Bear, is going to be Bruce Springsteen in a biopic called Deliver Me From Nowhere. Then they released a photo where it's like, here he is. Here's Bruce. Mm-hmm. It's just Jeremy Allen White in a jacket. like that's all it is. But okay, but it also looks like Bruce Springsteen. Like the two things can be true.
Yeah. Was it him smoking? Was he smoking a cig?
No, he was just standing there in a jacket with his hands in his pocket.
Okay.
That's all it was.
Yeah, I think I saw it. I was like, oh, that looks neat. That's Jeremy Allen White.
Yeah, I was like, all right. It just is Jeremy Allen White.
I'm pumped for him, though. Like, I think that'll be awesome because obviously we know him so well off of, television. But then, and he was great in, I'm blanking, really good movie last year, The Brothers. Iron Claw.
The brother, Iron Claw.
Amazing in the Iron Claw. Honestly, I think those top movies of last year. He was great. The cast was great. I don't know. I'm excited to see him more in movies and just kind of see him dive into that. And I think people view him as a pretty serious actor now. So I mean, he's got 2 Emmys.
Yeah.
And yeah. He's got 2 Emmys. And The Bear's a massive success. So
it was just very funny to be like, your first look at Bruce Springsteen. And it's just him. Like, you could have told me this is a picture of him from like him walking on a random Tuesday in Chicago. And I'm like, yeah, there he is. Like, it was just a very funny, like, people getting hyped up about it. Yeah. All right, next piece of news. The Wayans brothers are reuniting for a new Scary Movie. So kind of going back to what you talked about with Scream, the Scary Movie franchise, which I think has now had 7 entries, is coming back with Marlon, Sean, and Keenan Wayans. And honestly, I'm kind of pumped for this. When I was like younger, I used to watch a lot of the Scary Movies, and I was a big fan of Scary Movie 3 specifically. So I think we need a comedy, like a just something funny we haven't gotten in a while. And there's a lot they could do. It's been a while, like, since you can make fun of some stuff when it comes to the horror genre.
I've heard, so I haven't seen any of these movies. I just want to say that first. And I've only seen 2 of the Scream movies, but after watching this, I can just see like there's so many small things they could just pick at. And
easy.
The reaction I've seen, at least from social media, is that everyone is absolutely pumped that these movies are back.
Yeah.
Because it seems like they were like really loved. I'm just hoping, is it going to be in theaters?
From my understanding from reading the article, yes. It seems like it's going to theaters from Paramount. So
I feel like that'd be good then. I feel like that'd be a fun theater experience at least.
Yeah, I hope so.
Because I
I mean,
feel like
I'm,
it's been a while since you go in a movie and like you've gotten a really good laugh. You know, like
yes.
there's been some good like comedy movies, but not like I don't think I've gone into like
Game
into a
Night.
comedy
Game
movie
Night was
out
the
of it.
last one that I was like, this was
Game Night.
hilarious. I saw in theaters.
How can that be profitable for Frito Lay?
How is it possible? God, what a great movie, man.
Yeah, that
That's when
movie
see, that's when
rocks.
I would watch like every week. I'd be like, I could just throw Game Night on. Like I could just watch
Yeah,
it.
yeah. But honestly, I mess with these types of movies, and I feel like they're really popular then, and I feel like the nostalgia aspect could really carry over now. So hopefully, it's just as entertaining.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times comedies now have been kind of thrown into other stuff instead of just like a pure comedy. Where
Hmm.
it's like the Fall Guy this year was a comedy, but like it's in
Hmm.
something else. Like even Deadpool Wolverine is like in something else. I mean, for pure comedy, we got Ricky Stenicki. So like, no thanks.
Peak.
Unfrosted was a pure comedy. That stunk.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
maybe we're just looking at it and remembering all the bad ones. I feel like there's got to be a couple good
maybe.
comedy movies that have come out recently. I feel like we got to be missing a couple. Let me. I want to check
Yeah, I don't. Oh,
comedies
SNL, the
from
SNL movie we just
2020.
talked about. That was a good one.
Yeah, I feel like it was funny. I feel like that's like
That
I don't
was
know
a.
if that's like a pure comedy though.
It's not funny to be funny.
Drama
It was like,
comedy. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
Did you end up seeing Dee Dee? Was that funny?
Dee Dee is like a coming of age. Like, I'd say it's more like it had some funny parts of it. I don't know. It gets weird because it gets in this weird gray area where like, what is a comedy?
Drive Away
I,
Dolls, I think was, but I haven't seen Drive Away Dolls because it was so
yeah,
limited.
I mean, I guess like Barbie was maybe a comedy. I thought Barbie was kind of funny. Like, I don't really know if that's like a comedy though.
Yeah, not super.
It's weird. I just think the age of the comedies that we're thinking of is like the other guys, like Talladega Nights. You know, like I think we're kind of grouping those together, and I feel like the age of those comedies is kind of like that doesn't really exist anymore. You know,
Yeah,
at least that's what I'm thinking.
I would probably agree with that.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Hmm.
Next piece of news, which weirdly ties into what I just watched like a couple weeks ago when we were talking about it. What we watch, Cliffhanger. So I watched Cliffhanger like 3 weeks ago, and then
Hmm.
now there's apparently a reboot coming. So it was supposed to be a complete reboot with Sylvester Stallone coming back and starring. Now he is not, and it's going to instead star Lily James and Pierce Brosnan. Which, sure, like come on,
Mamma Mia
sounds pretty great.
reunion.
Yeah, seriously, Mamma Mia, here we go again reunion, the better Mamma Mia's. Um, like yeah, I liked Cliffhanger 1, and I'm pretty pumped for this one. Like I thought I thought it was cool. I thought the worst part about it was that they couldn't do some of the shots they wanted because of the technology at the time. Now there's no excuse. You're ready to roll.
Hmm.
Like you got all the talent and the ability in the world. Ready to kind of cook with it. Oh, there we go. Let's see what happened in the Lions game. But yeah, Cliffhanger. Count me in. I'm in. I'm fully in.
Count me
Um,
interested that you're interested.
yeah, I'm interested that you're interested, and that makes me semi-interested. All right, Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider is getting an Amazon show, which apparently I feel like this show was announced like a decade ago, and it's still like coming. But anyway, it's down to apparently Sophie Turner from probably best known from Game of Thrones and Lucy Boynton, who I do not know unfortunately. Um, but yeah, I like Tomb Raider. I think Laura Croft is a cool character. I have not watched the the Netflix show quite yet. I'd like to, but I haven't got around to it. But yeah, this one sounds pretty good. I'm into it.
Yeah, I saw the movie when it came out, probably what, like 2018, 2019.
That one was not good.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan. I like the idea though. I think obviously
The
it was
earlier movies are better.
structured after it's a game, isn't it?
What one? Oh,
Tomb
Laura,
Raider.
yeah, yes, Tomb Raider's a game. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't like my favorite movie ever, but I was interested enough to go see it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we'll see.
It takes a lot for me to buy in on a show, which is like my big issue. Is like
Yeah, I agree.
it's just you have to really sell me to be like this is the show.
Hmm.
which is of course very funny since I watch every Marvel show that isn't available on Star Wars, and then I recap it for you guys.
Marvel, I'm in. Disney, I'm
Yeah,
in. Star Wars,
I'm
I'm
in.
in.
Where do I shill
Anything
some
else?
more?
Nah.
Out. All right. Lego movies. Lego movies are apparently back. There are 3 new Lego movies coming. The weird thing is they're described as live action Lego movies, which I don't super know what that's supposed to mean. Like, is it stop motion? Like, is it a real? I don't know. But anyway, one of them is coming from Patty Jenkins, who's probably best known for the first 2 Wonder Woman movies. Sounds pretty decent to me. The other people who are doing it is Joe Cornish, who I don't know super well. I think he did Attack the Block, and then Jake Kasdan, who I don't also know. Apparently, one of these is going to be a Ninjago movie, though. So, I mean, hello. Were you
Really
a Ninjago
quickly,
guy?
I think we have a dwarf in our waiting room.
Oh, we do. He was calling us. Hello, Charles. He's arrived. I don't know what he's doing on his phone. I can't hear anything on his phone. Can you hear anything? I can't hear anything. No.
I can't
Sorry,
hear
Chuck.
him.
No. I think you're muted. Try to say anything.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, I
Oh,
can hear you now.
there he is.
You can't hear this?
Oh, there it is. A little bit. Sorry, man.
We'll edit it on the TikTok.
That's tough. Welcome, Chuck.
Thanks. Oh, look at all of our garb.
Pretty sweet. Should we do a quick
Hunter,
pause?
Yours looks like kind of felt.
I know it's a little thicker for some reason. I thought I bought the one that you sent, but it's like a
Yeah,
thick
that one looks even better.
material. It's a little too thick up where the clip goes or whatever, because it isn't really clip. It's like a one piece.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
God, we look
So,
cool.
Should we pause the news to see what Chuck's been watching?
I've got a big list.
No one wants to know what Chuck's been watching.
Yeah, no one wants to know.
We don't want to see those 2.5-star bangers.
I've got another big list.
All right. Pausing the news for a moment to have Charles join us and explain.
Breaking news.
So
Charles has been watching movies.
I left off at Casper the Friendly Ghost last week.
Yes, you did.
Okay, so this
You
week.
hated?
Correct. This week I went on a brief rom-com kick. I watched 10 Things I Hate About You. Big old thumbs up from me. 4 stars. Then we watched Love Actually. Did not know it was a Christmas movie.
I love Love Actually.
Yeah, it was good. Gave it 4 stars. And then I watched Snatch, which is honestly a lot like Love Actually in the way that it follows a ton of characters. You know?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard great things about it.
Okay. Gave
it's
that
Guy
4
Ritchie,
stars
right?
as well. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I watched Beautiful Boy, another 4 star.
Was he beautiful?
Kind of. And then I rewatched I rewatched Paddington. Needed a feel good movie, so we watched Paddington. And then watched Breakfast at Tiffany's. It was
Did they play the song in the movie? Like I said, what about Breakfast at Tiffany's?
I think that came after.
Yeah, I think it came after.
Really?
But I didn't realize that Breakfast at Tiffany's, the original song for that movie was Moon River. You know that song?
Oh.
Moon River.
Yeah.
That one?
It's like a...
It's okay. The Breakfast at Tiffany song will be in the remake. It'll be in the remake.
Yeah. Breakfast at Tiffany's 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Right. Then we watched Hocus Pocus, 3 stars. I think it's my favorite Halloween movie. Also, there aren't many objectively great Halloween movies.
I'm sorry.
Disagree.
What? Okay. What?
You guys disagree?
What? Hang on. What is this take?
I think it's
in what sense?
My entire family agreed.
Hang on.
Objectively, objectively good
horror
movies.
Films?
Well, this guy hates Halloween, so you can't.
Halloween
movies,
right? Halloween movies, not horror. Halloween.
Charlie Brown, Halloween is
okay.
Perfect.
That's good. That's good.
Scream is perfect.
Haven't seen it.
So, Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, that's
Would
my favorite one.
E.T. be a Halloween movie?
I would consider E.T. a Halloween movie.
Okay, whatever.
Ghostbusters? Come on, you love Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters is not a Halloween movie.
That's crazy too.
No shot. It's just a ghost movie.
I don't know.
I mean, I'd throw the Harry Potter movies in there for like Halloween.
I would as well.
I
would say Harry Potter movies are Thanksgiving movies.
See, the thing is, these are movies that remind us of Halloween, and we watch around Halloween. They're not Halloween movies.
Halloween Town High, Halloween
Those
Town 2,
suck.
Halloween's Revenge,
Those movies
Halloween
are
Town
stanky.
College, or the one where they come back.
We
No,
got to do a
those are
Disney
stanky.
original movies. We got to do an episode with Disney original movies.
Oh,
I would be
that's
so down.
awesome.
We do not have to do that.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Okay, I have 3 more movies. Tick, Tick, Boom,
The
4
Addams
stars.
Family.
The Sixth
Tick
Sense,
Tick Boom
4.5
bangs.
stars. I love Tick, Tick, Boom. And The Sixth Sense was awesome. The Intern was meh, 2.5. Sorry.
Yeah, The Intern's not great. I don't particularly like
Sorry.
The Intern.
You what?
I don't like The Intern. I don't think it's very good.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know. There were some parts that were kind of good. A lot of parts that weren't that good. That's all I got this week, though.
All right. Thank you, Charles. I'm glad you could bestow us with just one of the most insane takes I've ever heard. That's a crazy take. I thought you were going to say Thanksgiving. Like, Thanksgiving does not have a lot of good movies.
Knives Out.
That's not a Thanksgiving movie. See, these are movies that remind us of holidays, but they aren't actual
Or
holiday
is that a
movies.
Christmas movie? Is Knives Out a Christmas
See,
movie?
I don't know. I consider all horror movies somewhat Halloween movies.
See, I think that we have different. See, like they're very clear Christmas movies because they occur around the time of Christmas and they have decorations for Christmas. The Halloween movies, if you put all horror movies into the Halloween mix, they don't talk about Halloween. It's just a scary movie, and Halloween's spooky.
No, a lot of times it's like set near Halloween, so like there's already like the spookiness in the air, or it's set during fall, so like there's like the leaves in the ground, set the tone for Halloween.
Again, there aren't many
I don't know.
great
I don't know if I like this take.
Halloween specific movies.
We're gonna
I'm
do a
gonna just
Christmas
tell you.
movie draft, and I'm gonna tell
Diary of
you
a
it's not
Wimpy Kid. Halloween.
Halloween.
Okay, I'm not gonna say my take again. I've said it too many times already.
All right, I'm gonna have to take during Christmas time about a certain holiday movie that I do not like.
If it's
we'll
Home
get-
Alone,
no, come on, Home Alone's a banger.
Okay. all
Perfection.
right, cool.
Next piece of news. First look at Welcome to Derry, the It prequel TV show, coming to Max. So you know it's going to be real good. Coming out in 2025, and yeah, Bill Skarsgård is returning as Pennywise the Clown. I don't know. This first look looked decent. Like it didn't move the needle for me, but also I'm like half interested to begin with. But yeah, It prequel.
I'm locked in.
Are you actually?
Yes.
Big It guy.
Okay.
Big Pennywise head.
So let me tell you, me and my best friend from home, when we were in like second grade, we watched the original. Was it Tim Curry? It?
Yeah.
Does that sound
Tim
right?
Curry It.
Yes.
Yes.
We watched the original Tim Curry. It. We weren't really scared, but we were kind of like you know when you're watching those movies you really shouldn't watch. You know, like your parents are like, you can't watch that movie, and when you're a kid, you'd watch it, and you're like, oh my gosh, like that
First
was
time
it.
I saw Nightmare on Elm Street.
That was it. Okay. So me and my friend watched it. And then when the new ones came out, we went to the theaters to go see them together. And Bill Skarsgård, it is fantastic. That is my biggest problem with the movies, is that he's not on the screen as much as he should be. So I'm really hoping that this show really dials in and gives him the screen time that he deserves, because I think he's just fantastic. I think I'm the only one that's really pumped for this, but I figured I would just.
I liked the It movies. I liked the It movies because of the cast. I didn't like the It movies because I was like, oh, more Pennywise. I was like, I like these kids, and I like James McAvoy like being a funny adult.
Interesting.
So that was kind of my thought on it. I don't know. All right.
Yeah.
Update. It is 24-3 Lions. and Green Bay is in the red zone with 2:51 left in the third.
Does Laporta have any more passes?
No, not to my knowledge.
Does
Well,
Jahmyr
I would
Gibbs
like-
have anything?
He has scored a touchdown. Yes, he has.
Did he get 70 plus yards?
No, I think he literally has like 12. Sorry. Days of Thunder, a Tom Cruise NASCAR movie, is reportedly getting a sequel. Now, I was not into this, and then I thought to myself, what if they do Top Gun Maverick again, but with cars? And then I was fully in. I was like, that would be awesome. So yes, now I'm fully in on Days of Thunder 2. And Chuck is just so
I haven't seen the first one. It's Tom Cruise. Like
Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman's in everything, dude. Have
All
you
right,
seen?
I'm going to give
sorry.
you a guess. No, I was going to say, I'm going to give you a guess for what he drove for in the movie. Like who is he sponsored by? It's a soft drink that I don't think exists anymore, but I know it, so I think you would all know it.
Mellow Yellow.
Ah, what? Did you Google it?
No.
Did you seriously? Oh, that's a great goal. That's
Is that
insane.
actually it?
Yeah, he drove for Mellow Yellow.
What?
Yeah, he drove for Mellow Yellow.
That's the only one I could think of.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say like Squirt or something, and I was like, oh, I was really hoping you'd say that.
Mellow Yellow.
Never had that. Squirt doesn't exist anymore. Neither does Mellow
I
Yellow.
didn't even know it existed.
Mellow Yellow is gone. I think
I
it's
it is,
something
yeah.
else now. I'm pretty sure it's churned into something. Oh no, it still exists. Mellow Yellow's still around. Wow. Oh, Sierra Mist is the one that's gone. Sierra Mist, I think, became the new thing, right? It's like something else. I don't know. We're not soda heads. But yeah. So anything else on Days of Thunder 2? We kind of got derailed there, to be honest.
What would you guys say if I said I was a Nicole Kidman hater?
I'd have to know a reason, but I can get behind it.
Really, Jack?
Personally, I haven't seen her best work. Obviously, I think we all know, like, even if you haven't seen her best work, you know her as the AMC representative. You know, obviously she's one of the biggest actresses like ever, which makes sense. But like, I haven't seen like the work that she's really known for. Like, I think I've only seen some of the newer things that aren't as good as her best.
Okay.
I'm looking at IMDb right now to see if
That's where I'm
like-
coming from. I haven't seen her. I mean, I feel like it's safe to say she's not in her prime anymore. I haven't seen her like prime movies. You know?
Like, I haven't seen, what is it, Eyes Wide Shut?
Oh, okay. Hang on, Jack. Charles, have you seen Eyes Wide Shut?
No, I've never heard of it.
Next week, I expect it to be on both of your lists. That is number one on both of your lists as Eyes Wide Shut.
It's Kubrick, right?
Yes, that.
Okay.
And I'd like to know if that qualifies as a Christmas movie. You let me know.
All right.
I can get behind this take of Nicole Kidman. I'm looking at her IMDb. I think she's very talented, but I also think that she picks very weird things.
Mm-hmm.
She was great in Paddington too.
She was in the first one.
Oh yeah, the first one, first Paddington. She was the villain.
Mm-hmm.
I also watched her last week in what was it? Practical Magic, which was fine. She was very good in what was it? Not Aquaman. Aquaman, she was very okay. In Bombshell. Bombshell was a good movie I liked. But she also got upstaged by Charlize Theron.
Baby Girl comes out, and that's like her big one where I think she's like there's like an intern at where she works and they get
But that doesn't have great reviews.
Oh, I know. I was just saying I sat in the theater.
Oh yeah, I just saw that.
Where I watched We Live in Time before We Live in Time, and I
remember
remember
before
looking
We Live
down.
in Time, it showed up.
I looked at my friends, and I was just like, I didn't say anything. I look at them, and they're like, "That looks weird."
Whoa!
I'm like,
she's gonna be in a new movie called Holland,
Wait a minute.
Michigan.
Is that the one where they like there's some news about her last week about some of the scenes she had to film?
Maybe. I don't know.
Possibly. It's very.
Is it
I think there's a very
It was
strong
a very
sexual tension. Very strong
wild trailer.
sexual tension. Yeah.
It's a romantic.
Yeah.
It is a romantic.
Yeah,
It
there was
it
something
almost
that
gave
came
me
out
like
last
50 Shades of Grey vibes. Is that
Mhm.
just me? Like I feel
I
like
would-
just from watching the
yeah.
trailer.
The news
Yeah, I
article
get
that came
behind
out aligns with that.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
I think this might also be a Christmas movie because it takes place during Christmas. Yeah, I'm looking at the trailer right now. There's a Christmas tree within the first 10 seconds of this trailer.
oh.
All right. Adding to the list of Christmas movies, Baby Girl. Um, all right. Last two pieces of news. I'm going to save my favorite one for last. Tom Holland is confirmed now to star opposite Austin Butler in American Speed. Listen, Tom Holland's figuring it out. It took a while, but I think he's got it down now. I mean, he is just banger after banger after banger. I think, honestly, it was, he saw Timothy Chalamet and was like, that should be me. I'm doing it wrong. And he just locked in. I mean, dude went from Uncharted to like Christopher Nolan and now opposite Austin Butler. Like, come on, that rocks.
I almost think that him being away for a while kind of like made directors want him more, if that makes sense. Just him
Why
being
would
away.
it
He's kind of like this young
Yeah.
talent. You know, he's
Distance
showing
makes the heart
he's showing
grow
a lot of
fonder.
potential. And I think him taking the break, some directors are like, well, maybe I who knows what his career looks like right now, but I want to make sure I work with him, you know?
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm
with
excited. If he does not, I don't know. He has the biggest opportunity to like be great. So now he's just got to go out there and be great. You know, like,
Oh
would
my
you guys
God.
agree?
I'm
Like,
looking,
I think
no, I'm with you. I'm
Yeah.
looking at his IMDb right now. All right. So since 2019, let me read it to you. Spies in Disguise, Doolittle, Onward, The Devil All the Time, Chaos Walking, Cherry, Spider-Man No Way Home, Uncharted, The Last Call, and Crowded Room. Besides the Spider-Man of it all, and Uncharted was fine. Not great. Upcoming, he has three things: Christopher Nolan, American Speed, Spider-Man 4. He figured it out.
American Speed might have the most aura I've seen in a movie in a long time.
Yeah.
Like these two got like, I mean, Matt Damon and working with Matt Damon, I think that there's going to be a lot of sauce there. But I think
Mhm.
putting him next to Austin
Sauce.
Butler, who has been the master of sauce for quite some time. Dare I say, over the past 2 years, Austin Butler has brought the ultimate sauce to your movie. So
I agree.
I'm just gonna put it there. Sauce
Yeah,
master
like-
Austin Butler.
I mean, listen, that movie, The Bike Riders from earlier this year, would have been far, far worse without Austin Butler. Because of this, just like you said, the sauce he brings.
Yeah.
Man, Austin Butler too figured it out.
Yeah, he's
What
been
is
cooking.
Eddington?
My
Ooh,
glorious
Eddington is-
fade, Rotha.
Oh, hang on. Let me read you about Eddington. I don't know when this is coming out. I think it's early next year. Pedro Pascal, Joaquin Phoenix, Emma Stone, Austin Butler. Directed and written by Ari Aster. Hello. Most anticipated of next year. Hello. That rocks. My goodness.
I am seated.
Yeah, I'm already sat. The theater staff is pissed because it hasn't even been filmed yet, but I am already sat. All right. Last piece of news: Godzilla -1 might be getting a sequel. We don't know. It's not confirmed.
-2?
Yeah, it's just gonna keep going backwards. So the director is coming back to write and direct a new Godzilla film. They haven't said if it is a Godzilla -1 sequel.
I think it's got to be,
I think
right?
it is. Like the ending of Godzilla -1 was a cliffhanger
Yeah.
because the wife something was happening to her.
I think
so
it
I
was
I hope so.
poisoning. She got radio
But it looked like something Godzilla
radiation
did.
poisoning. I think she
Like,
got
it almost looked like-
radiation poisoning.
It almost looked like Godzilla poisoning, where like he did something.
Okay. Yeah.
So I don't know. I am pumped beyond belief. I mean, Charles and I went and saw this in theaters, and like
Yeah.
the sound it just made was so awesome.
It's pretty cool.
I did buy the collector's edition. It's coming at the end of this month, so when it does, I'll do a little. Here we go, dude. It's so sad not like just being bored. I just buy things that I don't need ever.
Every time I ask you if you're gonna buy something, you're like,
Well, see, here's the difference.
I got money.
In my head,
every episode you talk about some new thing that you buy.
See, here's the issue. In my head, I'm like, oh, $20. Like that's nothing. I'm like, oh, like I could just it's $20. But then the stuff that you send me is like $250, and it's like a sweet Lego set, and I'm like, oh, that's just too much money. But like probably if I just didn't buy like the $20 thing for like 3-4 weeks, I'd be like, oh, the $250, like I should do that once.
Yep. Yeah.
It's just a bad mentality I have with it. I won't lie. It's
like gambling. Like, oh, I only place $5 wagers, only 10 times.
But like I placed 300 of them.
You know, to be completely fair, not to say that we should be spending as much money as we possibly like on these things, but at least we get to keep some of our value. Gambling,
my wall looks
you either make it all back or you get. And look, if one day you're like, you know what, I want to sell it all, it's probably got some value to a certain extent.
They appreciate
whether you're taking it out of the box or not.
That's my excuse too. I'm like, oh, I'll sell it. I'm never gonna sell it. Let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna die, and then I'm gonna have like in my will to my kids, be like, you guys should keep this, and then it's gonna be a garage sale item like immediately. So
your wall is just gonna get like out of your house. It's just gonna get like a crane's gonna come and just pick it up and just drop it in front of your kid's house,
just right to the garbage.
You're gonna be turning in your grave because some guy's gonna buy like this $400 steelbook for $3 because
take out a protective sleeve.
Yeah,
like the Interstellar meme. You're gonna be like, no.
Behind that bookshelf, no.
Yeah.
Able lenticulars, do not crease it. Yeah, so Godzilla coming back. All right. I think we've talked about this before too, where like it's awesome that there's a regular Godzilla like that is traditional and feels like old Godzilla, and then there's American Godzilla versus King Kong just doing the stupidest stuff you've ever seen. Like it's awesome that we have both. Like we just don't get a lot of both, and I think it's great that we do. All right, that's it for news. Let's get into some trailers. We'll start with Paddington 3 because we've already seen this trailer before. It's just a new trailer. Listen, you've already sold me on this movie. Like I'm already in. You don't have to sell me anymore. I'm already there. Like it's Paddington. I have to be there.
What's the popcorn bucket gonna be?
So I was thinking about this, and I think I know. I'm calling my shot now. It's going to be his suitcase because he's going to
Where's
Peru.
that?
I think it's going to be a suitcase. I'm convinced it's going to be like it's going to be a suitcase and like stickers on it. That's like Peru, London, like all this stuff. I'm calling my shot. I'm going to call my shot.
I'll take 4 of them.
Just stack them very nicely on top. That's the one. That's the Murph behind banging on the back. No, not the Paddington bucket. No. Don't you know what I have?
Honey, we're going on vacation. Can I bring my very nice suitcase? No, we only use Paddington suitcases.
Dear, you have to stop buying these. The kids have to eat. Don't you understand? The Paddington suitcase is too perfect. I need it. Oh, it's gonna be so awesome. I'm very pumped for this movie. Oh, I love this little bear. So stupid.
Yes, Jack.
He's the best.
I just want to remind you guys, I haven't seen either Paddington movie.
Oh, dude.
I promise. Look here. Every Thanksgiving and every Christmas, that's when I have just like a ton of free time. So I'm going to promise to both of you that I will get through the Paddington movies 100% by the end of the year.
You're acting like this whole series. It's 2 movies.
It's literally 2 hour-and-a-half movies.
No, I know that, but it's like each week it's kind of like, you know, like I want to get caught up on the new movies that are coming out. I want to get caught up on, you know, movies like, for example, like Eyes Wide Shut, you know, like some of the older movies that I haven't seen. You know, it's like there's always like more. You guys know when you add movies to your watch list, if you actually were to watch them when you put them on your watch list, you would have like the most immense amount of film knowledge.
Yeah.
Like we might be immortal if we were to get through our actual watch list. Like we would float, we would levitate, we would not walk. Like Point is, though,
Yeah.
I want you guys to hold me accountable. I will finish the Paddington movies 100% by Christmas.
Okay.
All
All right, I
right.
believe you. I believe you.
Thank you.
All right. Next piece. No, we're gonna save it. Presents. We're gonna talk about Presents first. Presents, directed by Steven Soderbergh, is a POV movie that's a horror film from the eyes of the entity or the presence. This trailer looked fine. I don't know. It didn't like I wasn't like pumped. It was just I was like, all right, it's a cool concept. That was my first thought. I was like, it's a cool concept. I feel nothing else about this. And neither does anyone
Yeah.
else, apparently.
I'm going to be 100% with you. I feel like I normally get most of the trailers, but I think I just missed this one this week. So that one's on me.
Yeah, it didn't really move the needle online either, which I was surprised about.
I just don't think I saw it anywhere. Maybe it was on social media somewhere. I mean, normally I kind of try and watch them even if they're not, but I don't even know if I saw this one.
This
It's
may
got a
come
good
as a shock.
cast.
I also did not see the trailer.
The next two you both have better have seen. The next two I'm gonna be very annoyed if you didn't see. All right, we're skipping Presents. Clearly, it's not moving the needle in this podcast. Skeleton Crew, Star Wars Skeleton Crew. Someone else has to go first because I have to hold my thoughts here for a moment on Skeleton Crew. Oh, say it, Chuck, because I think I'm gonna agree with you. Say it. No,
I didn't see it.
no.
I was going to watch them in the airport, and then my AirPods died.
Okay, that happens. Jack,
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I really just after seeing this is the one with
Jude Law.
Jude Law, right? Yes. Okay.
Correct.
I gave you guys my take on Star Wars. I just don't think I'm the demographic
Come on, say it.
that
Yes,
this is made for.
that was my thought. Yes, okay, that was my.
Which I'm
exact
not
thought.
saying I think it's gonna be bad. This is just like, to be honest, I really liked Star Wars growing up.
It is
enjoyed
not what I
movies.
want
They were
from Star
great.
Wars.
I watched Mandalorian and Grogu. I was like, this is kind of interesting. And then at some point, I feel like I just kind of like fell off the train, you know. And
Yeah. I feel like I've been left behind at the station.
you know, maybe I see more of this and I see the reviews and people are like, you know, maybe like even Andor, which is people swear to be some of the best Star Wars they've seen.
This guy.
I haven't seen
Over
that.
here.
So I just don't think I'm like the Star Wars guy. And it's like obviously how Chuck is the Lord of the Rings guy, you know?
Mhm.
Like we can go to him with any fact that we need from the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Ooh,
Down-
Mission Impossible. I'll be that guy.
Okay.
Mission Impossible.
Honestly, I kind of associate Mission Impossible with you already. So I feel like that's not like. Point is, I just
Because he's so much like Ethan Hunt.
I'm literally Ethan Hunt.
just both just very adventurous men looking for
There it is.
danger.
Yeah. Never age. Be just perfect at all time. Running everywhere.
I started watching Collateral, and gray hair Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I've heard
Like,
him and Hunter kind of look alike. If Hunter were to dye his hair, that's what the streets are saying.
That's what the fans are saying. And let me tell you,
Yeah,
they're
the
right.
fans.
They're
Yeah,
right.
I've seen that on a couple of the YouTube videos. They're like, man,
Yeah, I gotta tell
that
you,
guy
they're
kind of looks like
correct.
Tom Cruise.
They're like, wow, he literally is Tom Cruise without the dyed hair. I thought this trailer stunk. This was exactly the opposite of what I want from my Star Wars, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I just don't care. And unfortunately, I'll have to keep watching. It's a
Someone's
sickness
got to.
that I have.
Someone's
It's
got
a
to.
sickness that I have that I have to see what happens in this show. I probably won't watch it until it all is out and then maybe binge it. But like it just did not get me excited at all. So that's it. That's all I got. Last piece, the Marvel Disney Plus 2025 trailer. Charles, please tell me.
Oh,
you
I
watched
saw
it.
this. I saw this. Yeah,
All right.
we talked about it. Because Anthony Ramos is in it.
Yes, we did. All right.
In our
all right,
chat,
good.
we talked about it.
All right, so I think I'm gonna go project by project. I'm debating how I want to do this actually. I think I want to do it in order it comes out. Yeah, let's do that. So order it comes out. All right. First up, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. The animated show releases January 29th, 2025. I thought this animation style was not too bad. I didn't mind it.
I liked it. I kind of like the old school, more traditional looking cartoons, though. I just think it's
Yeah.
more like enjoyable and satisfying to watch. There were people online that did not like it, though. But
Yeah,
I honestly think people
I
are
don't
just
know.
like, we've gotten to the
Hating
point
the
where
hate.
haters are just louder than people that like it. Like 95% of the population could like something, but everyone will only hear about hate and like not watch it because the haters are the loudest.
I agree. I 100% agree.
And I feel like specifically with like social media, it's really easy to hate because I feel like when you have a controversial opinion, it's very easy for people to kind of like get clicks, obviously, So I feel like that's just gotten way too popular.
Mm-hmm.
Like people not speaking their mind, but necessarily just like, let me just hate on it just because I can get like a couple more clicks, which trust me, I get it. I
yeah,
get
it
it.
happens. Like it's fine.
It's got to stop. It's got to stop.
So, all right. Next up, the one that I love the most, obviously, Daredevil Born Again. Daredevil. March 5th, 2025. This looks awesome. Like awesome. It looks
Jack,
so
have you
good.
seen the show? Like the show, the Daredevil
Unfortunately,
show?
I have not, but I've heard phenomenal things about it.
I also have not seen the show, and I have also heard great things.
It's what, like 2 seasons, 3 seasons?
I think it's
3
4.
seasons.
Oh.
How long? How many episodes?
I believe 8 per season.
I could
8 to
probably
10.
do that.
Listen, if you watched one a week, if you watched one episode a week, you'd be ready by the time the show comes out.
Yeah.
That's all you gotta do. Commit to 1 hour of television a week, and you're there.
It's not bad. I could do that.
So, I'm trying to pull up the game right now. My phone, stupid ESPN app stinks. It's so bad. All right. Yeah, no, look great though. I loved. Let me talk. Kingpin. Kingpin looked incredible. I think it's a lot better that he looks smaller than he did in Hawkeye. He looked a little bit too comically large in Hawkeye. And also, don't forget. Remember, Echo came out. We watched that. At least I did. He was in that. I think he looked better in this than he did even in that, which I was pretty impressed by. So Matt Murdock, it seems like, is now going to be fighting Muse from the comics. I don't know a ton about Muse. I just know that he has an ability to kind of interfere with Matt's ability to kind of see him using his senses, which is honestly a pretty great villain if you're Daredevil. And then also we got the return and first look again at Bullseye, which his costume isn't great. I'll be honest there. But Punisher is back. And oh sweet boy, my Punisher is back. And that's awesome. But yeah, I am, to say excited for the show is an understatement of understatements. Like it is just the number one thing on my list for next year. It's like that, it's Superman and Mission Impossible are like the 3, and it's like everything else so far down below it. And then that thing we just talked about with Austin Butler, like those 4, and then everything else. All right, Ironheart, June 25th, 2025. Charles, what's the deal with Anthony Ramos?
I just don't like him.
But I don't get why. No, Jack.
Later.
Oh,
speak. Talk
speak
your
your
crap.
truth. Hey, speak your truth.
Yeah, talk your crap, Chuck.
I saw a video of him when he was on like touring for like the press tour or whatever for Twisters, and he just kind of looked a little too confident, a little too arrogant for me. I also don't think he's a great actor.
All right, understandable. Hey, you're allowed to be a hater.
Which is weird because I loved him in Hamilton.
Him and Nicole Kidman, like you're just like, no, thank you, not mine.
I hope they make a movie together, and it's just like it wins so many Oscars.
It's like
it wins so many Oscars.
If they made a movie together, I would definitely watch it just to
hate.
But I'd probably hate the entire thing.
So then, Charlie, can we agree?
Well, actually, okay, Nicole Kidman. I'm not a hater. I just think that the movies I've seen her in, like, it's nothing really that special.
Hey,
get
you're
that.
allowed to believe that, and I'm fully okay with that. I do want you to watch Eyes Wide Shut, and then we can talk about Nicole Kidman again.
Yeah, I'll watch that.
Well, I will say, I know Anthony Ramos specifically within the Hamiltonian fan base.
The Hamiltonian community.
They were furious. So I've gotten a little bit of the beef from Caitlin, who I would say that she stays pretty up to date with what goes on in the theater world, but I want to say that he was engaged to one of the fellow actresses in Hamilton, and he then cheated on her. So caused a massive uproar in the Hamilton fan base, which obviously this is all just from a source, the source being my girlfriend.
Sources
so that being said, I think my girlfriend is a reliable source. I'm mostly saying that because she's going to watch this podcast. But
yeah, that's where I get all the news. She texted me.
Take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. When I talk about Marvel leakers, it's actually your girlfriend just texting me and telling
me. I heard something. I'm pretty sure I heard something similar. That might be.
Wow, this is blowing my mind.
You didn't hear about it? I think I heard about it on TikTok, and that's why I didn't put it into my argument because I didn't know if it was reputable. But
for as involved I am in like, no, I was saying for as involved I am in like movie news and stuff, I like am so out on like the drama and like all that stuff of it. Like I just like it's like two worlds to me. But no, Chuck stands up. He says not okay. Chuck standing on business.
Yeah, it sounds like they were rumors, you know.
Okay.
But either way, hopefully they're not true, but definitely sucky rumors to have.
I agree.
For both parties involved.
I will say though, for Ironheart, I did like that we're out of nanotech. Thank God nanotech is gone. We got the practical like suits because that is sweet. I thought that looked sweet. It's like, I thought the suit looked good. Like it looked good. It looks a lot better than it did in Wakanda Forever. Like it looks way better here.
Because like nanotech was cool for like a little bit, you know.
A movie. Like it was cool for.
Oh my gosh, Infinity War. Like
it's like nanotech. You like it?
Like wow, that's so cool. And then we're all just like, how did he come up with that? You know, I think some of the things that Tony came up with towards the back end of the MCU kind of was thrown under the rug. Yeah,
dude, he goes,
it's like,
and he's got an Iron Man suit. It's like, come on, that is not as cool as like stuff flying in and just like landing.
Awesome. The suitcase too.
Yeah, the suitcase, the push down in the suitcase, and it's so much better.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know, but yeah, I agree. The suit looked good. Not entirely sure if I'm going to watch it. I think Agatha was kind of a point where I'm like, I'm not sure if this is where I want to continue along the MCU path, but I'm sure that you will give us a fantastic explanation on what will happen.
About to be talked about.
What has happened.
I do apologize. I skipped one. I forgot that What If Season 3 is coming out this December. I think they're going to do the same thing they did a couple Decembers ago where they like did like one a day.
Yes.
No,
I actually love What If.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were like being a hater, and I was kind of
I love What If.
I think What If is very cool, but they just don't do a lot with it.
We had this conversation on the pod last year.
Yeah, we did. Oh, we did when it was airing. Yeah, when season 2 is out.
Yeah,
that's right. We did talk about that. Like they just do like such simple ideas where it's like, come on, be so much cooler.
Yep.
I really like season 1.
Season 1, I think, was better.
It was entertaining. I didn't watch season 2, mostly because I don't know. It was at the point where I was trying to catch up on the year for movies, and then like I got a bunch of reviews saying that like, or not. I saw a bunch of reviews that were kind of a step down from season 1. It sounds like they are obsessed with Captain Carter for some weird reason. That's what I've
they're
heard.
Trying to like interconnect this into like its own little world, and it's like, What If should be separate? What If should just be every episode is separate?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought the Doctor Strange one was like super cool. Loved that one. Like with the dark, where he gets the dark hold, right?
Yeah, that was
something
nice.
like
That was a good episode.
Yeah, I thought they were entertaining. Animation's beautiful. It's very pretty.
It does look good. There is going to be an episode I know for sure where they're like in mechs. They're in like the the Gundam mechs, which kind of sounds cool. I won't lie. All right, back on the next thing. Very little is known about Eyes of Wakanda. Comes out August 6, 2025. It's another animated show. I don't have a lot of news on that. It just is coming. Marvel Zombies Halloween 2025 is
Halloween.
the first TV.
There's a Halloween thing.
It's only like 4 episodes, which kind of stinks, but yeah, it's gonna be like a mature series. Apparently, as we talked about last week, Blade is going to be in Marvel Zombies. It's unknown if he's voiced by Mahershala Ali, but it's a Blade Moon Knight combo where it's Blade was chosen to be the herald of Khonshu. Kind of cool. I don't know. I kind of think it's cool. Yeah, it's kind of sweet, right?
That's awesome.
Like Shang-Chi's in the show, a couple of the people, so I think it's gonna be a good show. All right, and last but certainly not least, Wonder Man, December 2025. Wonder Man comes out. I thought this looked pretty decent from what we saw. I like Yahya Abdul-Mateen. I liked it. I liked the little tease we got. Crazy, it's over a year from now that we already got a little tease for it, but I'll take what we can get.
I don't have a really strong opinion about it. I'm not sure if I remember it from the trailer because I only watched it once.
Cool.
Yeah, I agree with Charlie.
Well, we don't have to talk about it for another year. We'll be going like, oh my God, it's almost year 3 of the podcast when we're talking about it. So, well, that's a crazy thought to think about.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
It's over a year from now.
Super freaking crazy.
Super fucking crazy. All right, let me talk about Agatha All Along season 1.
Hunter got a lot of love on the TikTok for this review.
Yeah.
I don't know if he got hate for it, though. Like, I think people were just, like, maybe misinterpreted what he was saying.
Yeah, I think I did get misinterpreted. People were
People
saying
were
like I was
looking for
hating on
issues.
it. Yes, people were looking to be mad at me for some reason, and I don't get why. Because, so I said I liked the show. I think it came around towards the end, but my major complaint with it was, I think it works a lot better as a traditional streaming show of being a binge versus week to week, because not a lot happens in the first 5 weeks, but then the last few weeks is pretty impactful. And so I feel like the first 5 are a bit of a drag, and then you finally get to the good stuff, and it's like, all right, here we go. And that was really all I said. I was like, it's cool that this exists. Like, I'm happy people like are fans of this. It just isn't really for me, but that's all right, because like I'm glad Marvel is branching out and doing different things. People took that as this.
Yeah.
Like I was like complaining this, and I was like, no, I watched it. Like I liked it. It just is not super for me, but like that's all right. And I don't know what people are mad about, but hey, they're allowed to be mad. It's a free country. Do what you want. Back to Agatha.
Can I comment on it? Normally,
Yeah.
like when I see your videos, like it makes me happy. I'm like, oh my gosh, like Hunter posted a new video. Like I want to see what he says, and then like I want to see what other people have to say about it too.
Yep.
And this one was particularly stood out from the rest because I immediately look and I'm like, there's a lot of comments in this thing. And I go look there and I'm just like, these are not positive comments.
People are trying to make it like a men thing where I'm like, I'm hating on some guy, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Well, it was funny
that I
too,
liked
it.
It
was like word for word. It was like, you know, this project was not for me, but I am so glad that they did it.
Yes.
And I'm just like, are we watching different videos?
I know. I think they watched like the first 10 seconds. I don't know. It was very weird. I was like, all right, like, hey, engage with it more, boost the numbers, but whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so as for Agatha All Along, the ending, final 2 episodes, we got the full reveal of Wiccan. It was also revealed. Oh, I don't know. Are you guys ever gonna watch this? Can I just spoil it? I'm just gonna spoil it.
Oh, I watched it on TikTok. I watched stuff on TikTok.
Oh, perfect.
I basically seen the entire show.
The road never existed was the big twist. The road was made up by Agatha and her son, who passed, to basically allow Agatha to trick other witches into stealing her powers, which I think is a great concept. And then when Teen showed up, who is Wiccan, he believed so much in the idea of the road that it manifested itself in the same way Wanda did with Westview, and made that fake town. And I was like, that is a really cool concept. And like, I like the idea of that. As for the ending, Agatha dies, becomes a Force ghost, and just kind of is like, hey, Wiccan, let's go find your brother who is now in the body of some other kid who almost died or did die. All right, for sure. Like, all right, here we go. Listen, my whole thing with this is Marvel's gotten to the point where they're big enough where they can do what comics do. You have the group of people over here doing this. You have the group of people over here doing this. This is the magic group. They're doing different things in the world of magic. If this is the stuff you like in Marvel, they're setting some stuff up for you. Me personally, it's not my kind of thing. I like Wanda, but if I'm going to see magic stuff, I kind of prefer Doctor Strange or no magic at all. But for people who like it, it's there for you. And I think it works well for what it is. It just is not for me. But then again, it's still a 7. Like, I would much rather watch this than The Acolyte. So I don't know what you want me to tell you.
It's a 3.5-star banger.
Correct.
That's an honor. That's an amazing title to receive.
Yeah, be happy about it. You did what you're supposed to do. You made a cheaper show feel decently big, and it was popular. That's all you have to do. Just keep doing that. It's such a simple concept.
I feel like Marvel recently too. It's like the projects they come out with. It's immediately like, what scene looks terrible?
Yes,
like,
people are like,
where does the
looking for
CGI
stuff.
look bad? People are looking to pick at it. I didn't see anything throughout the course of this entire show where someone was like, the CGI really sucks here.
Yeah, no.
Now, don't get me wrong.
I didn't
watch it. I didn't watch it, so maybe there was. But
no,
still,
there really wasn't.
Apparently, it looked really good.
Yes, and there was a point in this where I was shocked at how much I liked this. There's a point where Aubrey Plaza as Death is walking away on the Witch's Road, and like the background is very clearly like a stage, like a tarp or whatever they put up in the background that's like painted. She cuts through it and walks out. And I'm like, that is so inventive and smart and cost $0 to do CGI. And I was like, that's such an awesome thing where it's like she has that much power in this world. Like, that is so cool. And like, that is the simple stuff you have to just think outside the box on to how to do it.
Honestly, I think CGI is great and it allows us to expand a little bit more in terms of world building. But I think it gets tough because I think CGI can be kind of like a crutch to a certain extent.
Yes. Where it's like, fix this later. We'll fix it later.
Yeah. As to where when you have a smaller budget, like Godzilla -1, small budget, they got real creative and they found a way to make it look good. When you have a ton of money, it's easy to hire a bunch of visual effects people who are fantastic at what they do, but are not given enough time or maybe enough resources to actually make it look good. So I don't know. I'm all for low budget stuff because I think it makes people more creative. But I don't know. We'll get the CGI later. CGI is going to come up again.
CGI is definitely going to come up again when I talk about it in a few.
Foreshadowing.
All right. The Penguin. Should we talk about the Penguin? Penguin episode, I believe, 6. Yes,
this is
6.
A packed episode.
Yes, the Penguin episode 6 Gold Summit. There's a little bit of a time jump here. We have now moved on.
I might take the headphones out.
Oh, all right, understandable. I'll give you a wave when we're ready. Bit of a time jump. Oz kind of has Underground Empire set up a little bit, not too big, but he's moving.
Yeah.
And yeah, okay. How do you want to? Why don't you go ahead? You go first.
Okay, I thought this episode. And I continue to agree with this. I think this show is, like you said it best earlier, and this is such a big surprise when, like, in hindsight, it shouldn't have been a surprise.
Yeah.
I feel like the amount of time and resources that was put towards this movie, and like Colin Farrell, who is a massive actor now, like dedicating his time and his effort into this role, I feel like we knew it had to be good.
Agreed.
And every single week, it just continues to unfold, and it's amazing. It is so good to watch. Vic's character arc just gets better and better. This episode, in particularly, where we brought this up last week. We said that the guy, I don't even remember his name, the guy that you saw on the street that's also dealing, he's going to come up later.
Squid,
and he did. And
he did.
I was not prepared. I mean, spoilers obviously, but I was not prepared for Vic to take him out.
Oh, I was ready for it, but I was surprised how he did it.
Like I thought he would
for
do
sure
it,
he
but
would wait.
honestly, I thought it'd be later down the line, or he was going to be like, "Sure, I'll take you to Penguin," and Penguin was just going to pop him.
Yeah, but I knew
But
he was going to lead
when
into his
he
death.
did it as fast as he did it, I'm like, holy cow. What else? I agree. I think the time jump was a good for how this show is structured. I don't know if we could have fit in another episode of him just getting it all set up. So I think to kind of fast track it was a great idea because it shows us more of what we want to see. As to where him getting, the entire foundation set up, well, I'm sure they could have found something entertaining. I mean, holy cow, this episode, that cliffhanger.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard the door open, I'm like, someone is in that house. Someone's in that house. And I'm like, just do not say a word about Oz. Mm-hmm. And they did.
They did.
And she just stands there. So the scene with Sophia and
Carmine in the kitchen.
Rocks. It's a great sequence. Great sequence. It's like two people that are very, I don't know, terrifying. Like all the things that like their reputations are. I don't know. I thought this episode was it just continues to get better and better. Not necessarily that this is a better episode than last week, but I think what it's built like.
Yes,
there's parts of the foundation that are stronger than others, but overall, like what it's building is just fantastic. It's so good. And I genuinely, every single week, I'm so excited. And watching these episodes is a highlight of my week every single week. It's just amazing. So
I want to touch on the ending, but not like the ending, the cliffhanger. I want to talk about the beers. I thought that was an awesome scene where these people all know, yes, Oz is probably not the best guy to trust. Oz is like the dude who's going to, he's going to turn on you pretty quick. But he's right. And they have to believe in him. And I think that is such a great, great moment where they all start cracking the beers. Like, I'm in. And now it's like, all right, Oz has his army. Oz has brought together the small groups to take out the big fish. And it's like, here we go. It's like for a moment, he had the upper hand. And then Sophia comes in and she's got both Vic and his mom. And it's like, all right, how are we going to, there's only 2 episodes left. How are we going to do this? 2 episodes.
I know.
It was great. It was so good.
I can't
wait for tonight's
even the part where the entire conversation that they had together at the funeral, where he's talking about his mom, the love he had for his mom, the love he had for his family. Obviously, a very emotional conversation.
In the earlier episode where he's talking,
yes,
he says
like season 2. Yeah, says she's dead. And she's probably obviously they had a relationship before this, but that's a very intimate conversation that you would have with someone. That's not necessarily something that you're just going to be like, oh, hey, man, how's it going? Yeah, so my mom died and my brother. That's just not what you do. So it's like, but obviously this was all part of his plan to make sure that everyone knows that his mom is dead, to create this idea that he has nothing to lose because he has nothing.
Agreed.
And I think the scene with his girlfriend.
Where she turns on him.
Yes. I initially thought she wouldn't, but then she brought up the part about the dancers and how he knew.
He knew.
And speaking of honest, Oz is clearly the bad guy. Oz is clear. At this point, we root for him.
Oh, yeah.
And this showed us such an amazing job of getting us to root for him, even though we know he's the bad guy.
It's so you root for him, but the second Batman would show up, you'd be like, "Get him, Batman! Get him!"
Yes.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
Chuck looks so sad.
Man, this episode this episode packed a punch.
He's back.
He put the headphones back on. He wants to listen.
He's back. He wants to hear what we're
turn it off. I don't know. I don't know. Either way,
tonight's episode.
I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped.
Come on.
I don't know. I really hope. Can Charlie hear us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
think. Just give us 1 second.
Think off for 1 second. I'm sorry.
1 second. Let him say his last thing. No, just say it. He wants to hear it.
I want Vic to get out so bad.
He's not.
But I
Not happening.
know he's not.
Vic is not getting out.
I know he's not. Like,
Vic is not getting out of this show. No chance. Let the clock tick, boys. All right, Lions update. Fourth quarter, 3 minutes left. 24-14. Lions are winning. 3rd down and 1. They are on Green Bay's 43-yard line. Here we go. Running the ball. Oh, first down. First down and some more. All right. All right, let's do Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Shire, boys, and talk some Lord of the Rings. Charles, I always lead these conversations, but I think today, of all days, it deserves to be you.
Really?
I'd like you to lead our conversation on Lord of the Rings.
he wants you to bear the burden of the pod.
Yes. One leader to rule them all. One podcast host to guide the discussion.
As in, you want me to like give my review first, or?
Yeah, and then tell us what you want us to talk about. Kind of just lead us through it. Obviously, we'll probably start with Fellowship, but lead us there.
Hunter, you're right. We probably should start with Fellowship. Yep, definitely.
Hey, I'm not trying to give you the answers. All right, I'm not a Quizlet.
Look, fellas, Lord of the Rings movies are my all-time feel-good movies. I feel like I could watch them on repeat for the rest of my life, and I would never get tired of them. I think they're also beautiful movies. I think everything about them is just spectacular. I think the acting, the script, where it was filmed, the costume design, the score, everything about it just is like magical. Which is, I'm sure, part of the reason why I like it so much. But I just think the story altogether is very strong too. And I think it's spaced very well across 3 movies, where like you compare it to The Hobbit, and I think that The Hobbit is very long and stretched out. And I think that's kind of where I think that's the weakest part of those movies. Whereas you have 3 movies for 3 books, 3 jam-packed books, so jam-packed that they had to make extended editions. And even then, like, it doesn't even cover everything. So overall, I just think it's like, I know.
Sorry,
I'm with you.
Huge. Are you watching it also?
No, I'm talking about, no, I thought you were talking about Lord of the Rings.
No, the Lions. Just it was a big first down. Sorry.
Okay. Did Jahmyr Gibbs run it?
No, it was a dump down pass to Monty, and I think it's going to be the end of the game because there's a 1:57 left. It's a first down, and there's no timeouts for Green Bay, so I'm just gonna knee it.
Gibbs running it all?
Sorry, back to the Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's quite a feat that they were able to. Oh my God, Gibbs needed 5 more yards. I think these movies are quite a feat, and it's pretty remarkable what they are able to accomplish. There are things that could probably be improved, and I'm sure you guys are going to talk about them. I think the CGI thing is where I think
there's one that I'm going to wait till Return of the King for my funny one. Oh, okay. Jack's thinking about it.
Wait, what is it? Okay, whatever.
My Return of the King one is I audibly laughed at the Return of the King one.
Okay. Yeah, they're all 5 stars in my Letterboxd. In my eyes, they're all perfect. Even though I just said that there are things that could have improved, I don't want them improved. I think that they're perfect for me, and I think they're perfect for a lot of people. I mean, Lord of the Rings has such a fan base. Like, I feel like Star Wars has a much larger fan base, but Lord of the Rings heads are like...
Lord of the Rings people are like...
They're locked. People. They're locked in. Yeah. So there are so many people that were impacted by these movies, and I just think they're remarkable. So we can talk about Fellowship first. Jack, you want to lead us off? Wait, this is your first time watching them, right?
Sure. No. So I'd seen them. I'd seen them kind of all when I was younger. I watched them all again freshman year, and obviously I've been ever since I got a Letterboxd. I was like, I kind of wanted to like watch them again to like log them, see where they stand with like stuff that I've watched recently. Because I think there was a time where these could have been my favorite movies like ever. Yeah, I don't know. In particular with the Fellowship of the Ring, I really like it, and I think, I don't know, going back on it, I think I could put this at a 5 and maybe even say it's the best of the trilogy. I think that it's like all these characters are at their best when they're together. personally.
Yes,
And I
100%
think
agree.
that the camaraderie and the friendship, like the Fellowship of the Ring, like holy cow, like when they're all together, it's just so amazing. It's awesome. And like you can just fight the world with these guys. So I think in the first movie you get so much of that. And I love that you get it so much in the first, but I think that's something that I really miss in the next few movies. But I think it's that initial like friendship that kind of creates that bond that makes you miss it in the next few. Personally, I love Gollum. I think Gollum is the greatest character out of any Lord of the Rings character. I think he's got a lot going on.
You don't get a lot of mentions of Gollum in Fellowship. In fact, if it's not extended edition, I think there's only one scene that Gollum is like shown, and it's in the.
He says,
in the
"Battles, Shire." You know, he says,
Oh,
that was good. Wait,
That was
that was
good.
good.
I like my Gollum impression. It's and it's okay. You know, yeah. I love Gollum. I think he's awesome. I'll do my voice for my girlfriend all the time. She hates
I'm
it.
sure she loves that.
Yeah, she doesn't like it. But point is, I love Gollum, and obviously you get more of him later. But I think this movie, I mean, the world building's phenomenal too. I mean, larger than life. The Shire, I want to eat a meal there. I just want to sit in the grass, lay in the grass.
Yeah, you can.
You can. So it's in Hobbiton in New Zealand. It's like a tourist destination, and you can pay for. There are like different kind of tours you can pay for, and the biggest one is you like have a full buffet meal at like a Hobbit table in Hobbiton.
A nice mug of beer.
Mm-hmm.
Give it to me.
See, that was the one thing I wanted at the end of sorry for jumping. At the end of Return of the King, when they're drinking out of those mugs, I was like, I want a mug so bad like that.
The pints,
Those mugs are
chalice,
awesome.
the chalice.
Yes, they literally are.
And the CGI thing, really quick. I don't know if you're going to mention it in the Fellowship. I think we sent a picture of this already.
Yep.
But it's like what was it?
Elrond.
Yeah. It's like he's like, oh.
Yeah.
It's like,
I laugh every time I see that.
Frodo. I don't know. That just made me like I like audibly laughed. I thought that was so funny.
I laugh every time.
Yeah, really not much else to say. I think I got a lot more to add for the later ones, but Hunter, what do you got for Fellowship?
So Fellowship, I gave 4 stars in Letterboxd. However, I do agree with you. I think it is my favorite of the Lord of the Rings films. I think them being together makes it so much better. I think the Fellowship being together works so well. And I didn't really notice it till this time I watched it. I think it's because the first time I watched it was, it's just experiencing it. Really, they're separate for a lot of this trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have basically 3 groups, if not 4, for like a majority of this trilogy. And I think that this is just it's just an example of how well they work together. Like them being together is so awesome. You just don't get that, which stinks. I will say though that this first film is truly, truly like to say that this had a lot to overcome is again understatement of the year. Like you had to set up this whole world, you had to lay out what's coming, you had to lay out the next 2 movies, like you had to do all of that in one package and still make that package work well. And I think they did. Like I'm very impressed with how well the Fellowship of the Ring works. I also think it is the most coherent of the 3 from just a storytelling standpoint. Like it is a true full story in one film where the other ones are not. And that is not a negative on those films, I would say. It's just like if you're like, all right, I'm putting on 2 Towers. But if you haven't seen the Fellowship of the Ring in a while, 2 Towers is not the same movie without seeing Fellowship like just previously. And so I think that is a big testament to this movie. I also think that this was, I just think there's stuff in this that I like a lot more that doesn't come up again. Like even the, hang on, I wrote down all the names, everybody. Even the Nazgul in this are like better in this than they are in anything else. Like Pippin and Mary, like Mary is not very involved with the rest of this trilogy compared to this movie. I do like the Balrog. I think the Balrog is awesome. And yeah, I just also like Galadriel is not super involved in the rest of the trilogy compared to this movie. And Elrond, who I will talk about the elves in a little bit because I have a thought about the elves. But yeah, I give this movie a 85 out of 100. I think this is a very solid solid movie that I really enjoy. And also from a filmmaking standpoint, it's incredible that they can all be on screen at the same time and do this forced perspective. Like it just looks perfect every time. It looks perfect every single time.
The behind the scenes are fascinating to see.
Yes, where they're like sitting like 12 feet apart, but like they're looking at it. Just is so awesome how they do that.
Yeah,
man, it's so cool.
Cool. Obviously, I want you to say what you want to say. Chuck, did you already say what like you already feel? Like I know you said like the trilogy as a whole. Yeah.
Do you have something to add or do you?
Yeah, I had something really quick.
Go for it.
Personally, I love Boromir. I think he is possibly one of my favorite characters, even though his screen time is like so small. Like I think he's just really easy to relate to be honest. Like I think if there was a ring out there where it's like you could have all the power, it's like he's just like he messes up, you know?
Yeah, like I liked Boromir a lot.
So Boromir is, I agree. I think he's probably one of the greatest characters in the trilogy. He's a very complicated character.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's a very simple.
Yeah.
So he's very complicated, but at the same time, he's very simple. Like he's a normal man who cares about the kingdom of Gondor, and he wants to basically wants to enable Gondor to protect itself from its foes because they've been in a war for a really long time and they're kind of losing ground. You kind of see it in the second movie when they lose Osgiliath. Maybe it's the third movie. You see when they lose Osgiliath and he's a captain of Gondor, and you don't see it because I think it's in the extended edition. He was instructed by his father, Denethor.
His father stinks.
Worst
yeah, that guy sucks.
That guy stinks.
He gets instructed.
I want to add something on that. When we get to the Return of the King, let me make a note on that, and then. But sorry.
He Denethor instructed him to get the ring and take it back to Gondor, and so Boromir, he cared a ton about the Fellowship, but it basically showed the weakness of men and like why the race of men would fail because he succumbed to the power of the ring. But the most like incredible thing about him is he learns what he did wrong, which most men don't do. Like you have Aragorn, who just like is like he's just different.
Yeah,
but to put it blunt, like simply he's just different. But like most men would never identify what they did wrong, but Boromir identifies it and then tries to make up for it and ends up like losing his life as a result. And like his quote, which isn't in the book, I've been reading the books too. What does he say?
One does not simply walk into Mordor.
He does say that.
That's the one I was
my
like,
captain. He says, oh shoot, what is it?
I know what you're talking about. It's when they're having the conversation. He's like, I messed up, and he's
my
like,
brother, my captain, my
to
king.
The ends or something.
So Aragorn says, I would have gone with you to the end, but he says, my brother, my captain, my king.
My king. I would have followed you, my brother, my captain, my king.
And it's just like, it's so crazy. And like a lot of people, like, so Tommy, my roommate Tommy, who you guys both know, he hates Boromir. And it's like, Boromir is such a great character, and he shows like so much about the ring. Like without Boromir in it, I don't think you'd really understand the extent of the ring, like the influence the ring has on you until the third movie when you see Frodo being a complete asshole, you know?
Yeah, you'd be like, these people got to get over the fact that this ring is like powerful. You'd be like, whatever. But, like, no one else wants it except for Smeagol.
Yeah. But like Boromir is this incredibly powerful captain, very highly regarded, and he succumbs. So he's a really great character.
Yeah. His death scene is legendary.
So good. What do you guys give Fellowship of the Ring out of 100? So I give it 85.
96.
Wow. Jack?
Probably give it a 91.
Wow. All right, I'm lower.
Big fan. Big fan.
Jeez, oh. Yeah. All right. Two Towers.
You want me to lead us off on Two Towers?
Can I lead us? I would do the Two Towers because I think I'm in the minority on Two Towers. I think this is by far the worst one.
So this actually used to be my favorite one.
I think this is the worst one by a large margin.
Okay.
Now, having said that, I still think it's a great film. Like I'm going to give it an 80 out of 100. I just think if you took the 3 and you're like, what's the worst one? You're like, all right, I think it's Fellowship and Return of the King are probably the best. And then it's like, no one is, I think, I guess except for you a while ago, Charles. Or like, I'm actually a Two Towers guy myself. And I think my main issue with it is not only are they apart, which stinks, I don't super like the Gandalf the gray or the Gandalf the white. I think when Gandalf comes back and he's like, oh yes, Gandalf, that's what you used to call me. I'm like, dude, what are we doing here? Like, you know these people. And then like 10 minutes later, he's like, yes, I think I do remember all of you perfectly, actually, and I know everything that's going on. It's like, why were you confused for 10 minutes in the beginning?
I thought he got sent back as a new he was sent back as essentially a new person.
He has the thing where he says like the days are as long as like
he like went through like he went through lifetimes to come back. But like I just thought it was so funny where he's like, oh, you used to call me Gandalf, and then 10 minutes later he's like, hello, old friend, who I remember perfectly now. It's like okay, what, dude? I don't know. I just thought that was silly, and this was the beginning where I don't like Frodo. Frodo to me is the worst of the main characters in this franchise.
All-time bad guy.
I just don't like Frodo all that much. Like whenever Frodo was on screen, I'm like, dude, can we go? Like then Sam shows up and I'm like, oh, it's my boy Sam. And then Sam goes away and I'm like, oh God, it's Frodo again. What are we doing? it's like I would like anyone else except for Frodo to be the lead of this. And it's Frodo. I'm like, ugh. I just don't know. And then maybe it's because I watched the regular version. And that can be on me. I don't get the point of Galadriel doing things. Like she's just kind of there, right? Like did I miss like a big thing that I shouldn't have? Like Galadriel kind of just comes in as like, you can do it, my boy. And then goes away. Like that's her whole purpose, right? Like is that a crazy take?
Well,
Galadriel was very involved in like thousands of years ago.
Yes.
Right. And to be honest, her whole storyline is a little confusing to me as well. She kind of just resides in that forest.
Yeah, she just kind of hangs out there and is like giving people vision quests.
And she's like crazy powerful, but she can't touch the ring or have the ring because she like wield a power too great, kind of like Gandalf. So there's not really a whole lot she can do, and she also like has to protect her people.
I did love the king. King was cool.
The king.
That was I just jumped. Like the king of Gondor.
Theoden?
No, maybe
you mean Rohan?
Not Gondor. Yeah, the king of Rohan, where he was like creepy and old, and then like Gandalf was like, "Not today!" Bam, and then he just like healed him immediately. I thought that was great.
Did you like Grima Wormtongue?
Oh, dude, slimiest guy you could ever find.
Be silent. Keep
just
your
the most
benevolent,
just like like this, just doing this constantly behind people's back.
That quote is crazy. Keep your forked tongue behind your teeth.
Yeah.
Rocks.
Okay. The other thing
let me just say.
No, go ahead.
Gandalf just fits. Like, sure, I 100% agree with that. With the scene where he's like, I think Gandalf's death at the end of the first movie feels significantly crazier if we have to wait 2 years or so for the next movie because it sits with us for a little bit. A year, okay. Well, still, I feel like if I would sit in the theater and I'm like, damn, bro, like Gandalf is like, he's so powerful, man. I have no idea how they're gonna do this without him. And then I sit in the theater, and then 5 minutes later, it's like, oh, hey, Gandalf, like that would drive me crazy. Yeah, I kind of agree with what Hunter said about that. But then Gandalf just spits crazy game.
Yeah,
and all like everything he says, it's like it could be a quote. You could put it on somebody's door, and you could just wake up and be like, I feel like I understand the meaning of life, or let me ponder on this very insightful quote from
I think that
Gandalf the White. Yeah, I don't know, like what he said, like Love him. Love him.
Yeah, the other thing I didn't like, obviously the Battle of Helm's Deep was just one of the most amazing things I've ever seen on film. Like, it is incredible that it looks like that. I wish, though, that there was an extended version of these movies that cut out Frodo and Sam and Gollum, and it was just more of the other stuff. And like every once in a while, it'd be like it would zoom out on like a map, and it'd be like, "Here's where Frodo is and Sam," and then it would go back to the cool stuff. Like I just do not like. I never cared about Frodo and his journey, which stinks because he has the ring. I just was like, I'm good. Every time
I've seen these movies so many times, and every time it goes to Frodo and Sam, I'm like, God damn it! Every time,
it's like
every time.
I
There's
would
also
much rather think of Legolas.
where it's the middle of the Battle of Helm's Deep, and it pans
and it
over
cuts
to like
to them.
it cuts to them, and then another time it cuts to like Treebeard and Merry and Pippin. And I'm like, come on.
Yeah, I'm like, I'd like to see the Battle of Helm's Deep, please.
Like the battle's why I'm sitting here.
Yeah, but Merry and Pippin are also in this movie. The hobbits get lost in this, I think, this trilogy as they go on. Especially in Return of the King. Besides Pippin, they kind of get lost in this entire trilogy.
I think they serve their purpose in the whole sense that someone who does not think that they are destined for much, or someone who tends to be looked over or is little, can do such a very big task or can do something so great.
Yes.
I love that idea. Love it.
It's just not focused.
And I think they try to throw it in there. Like, for example, I don't remember if it was Merry or Pippin who ends up going into war. But I'm just kind of like, Like, am I the only one that feels like that? Like, I'm just kind of like,
yeah. Like
I feel like you're like
when Merry gets grabs the ball. By, what's her name?
Oh,
I was thinking when Merry gets plucked by Edwin. When Merry gets plucked by Edwin and it's like, here we go to war. And I think it's supposed to be like a moment where you're like, yes, let's go. They're going to war. And I'm just like,
Eowyn?
Yeah, sure, whatever. Eowyn. I'm like, all right.
You're thinking of Arwen. Arwen. You're thinking of Arwen. And
yeah. But I'm like, it just didn't move the needle for me. I'd much rather just hang out with Aragorn and like in that group.
They're very much the comedic relief characters. I think it's very apparent. Like, maybe call me out if I'm wrong. But they're like,
Charles, I do have to ask you this.
Yeah.
Yes. I do have to ask you this, Charles. The sword that lights up if there's danger nearby.
Yeah.
That thing should have been like Rockefeller Center on Christmas Day. Anytime Gollum was nearby. I'm sorry. That was the one way to be like, is Sam right? If Sam was right, you just go, oh, okay, yeah, bad guy. Goodbye,
It's only for the orcs, I'm pretty sure. It's only if orcs.
Gollum was a hobbit. Right? Gollum was a hobbit.
I thought it worked for any danger.
No,
I think it's just that
orcs. There are like orcs or goblins.
I was wrong. All right. Now I know. Now I don't feel as silly when I'm like watching. I'm like, why is it not lit up?
No, yeah, because Gollum was a hobbit.
Yeah.
Also, Saruman. He doesn't do a whole lot, does he?
What do you want him to do?
I mess with him though, heavy.
I like him. I just think
it's funny. 10,000 Uruk-hai orcs that are more powerful than any other orc ever made.
I just think it's funny that Christopher Lee is like in two big franchises where he's like the guy setting up the bigger guy to be the bad guy.
Saruman intended to get the ring to overtake Sauron. He wasn't going to give it to
Sauron. Was just like was ready to roll.
Well, he needed the ring, and Saruman was going to get the ring from the hobbits, and then basically wield it to overthrow Sauron.
But Sauron never knew that the hobbits had the ring.
No.
So he was way off from the jump.
He knew the hobbits had the ring. He didn't know what
their
plan. He didn't know what the plan was.
Okay.
Like he never expected.
They're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
They explain that in the book. That's like the whole advantage that they had. So Sauron knew that hobbits had the ring, but he thought that they were going to try to use the ring against him, which is why he was basically plotting an all-out attack.
Okay.
He never thought that the hobbits were going to try to destroy it.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, that makes more sense.
Because that's what I was thinking. There's a point through these movies where I'm just like, why don't they just guard the entrance to Mount Doom? And then I'm like, they don't know. Like,
Yeah, Sauron
they never knew.
Wow.
expected that.
Real quick, I just had to look it up. Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, and Two Towers both made less money than Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, per Jack and I's conversation earlier, which is crazy.
Woof.
That's
Yeah,
sad.
that's insane.
Woof.
All
That bummed me
right.
out.
So now Two Towers sets it all up. We're ready to go into Return of the King. Chuck, please go. Tell us Return of the King. Oh, sorry. Hang on. Pause. Two Towers ratings. What'd you give it? I give it 80.
I'll give it a 96 as well.
Jack?
I'm going to give it even 87.
All right. All right, Charles. We've set you up. Bring us home.
Well, so this is my favorite movie of all time, as you guys know. I get chills watching it. I tear up a little bit watching it. It is incredible, in my opinion, in every way. I think what they're able, we've talked about it, but what they're able to accomplish in this trilogy and how they're able to tie it up at the end into like a very satisfying ending is just remarkable. The battles are incredible in this movie. They wrap up, or let's see, do I want to go in order of what happens? So, kind of going back to you guys, I don't really mind that they separate because I didn't really talk about that in Two Towers as much. But I just think that in this movie, I should prepare this a little better. It's kind of hard to put into words because it's like the same things in the first few movies, but it's like this movie, everything's amplified. Like all the characters are developed. They don't spend as much time on that. You like are introduced to Gondor and like how complicated that is. You meet Denethor, who's probably the most hateable character ever.
Thanks.
And you like understand that whole family just shit show and dumpster fire, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you keep following Sam and Frodo, and Sam like proves to be the GOAT and the great, like just an insane character. Have you guys seen the rumors online about how Sam and Frodo are like lovers?
Lovers?
Yes, like lovers.
Those make me so angry because I think one of the most
just like a very good male friendship.
Yeah, and I think one of the most admirable things about this whole trilogy is like you understand like male on male affection, and it's like normalized in this, like hugging your friends constantly and showing like a ton of gratitude and affection towards your friends, and then everyone just responds like, oh, these guys are in love. Like, I'm surprised they didn't
They're
kiss.
kissing. Yeah, it's like, what?
So yeah, I don't know, but
no, I get that.
Yeah, I just think that without trying not to repeat myself, it's just like a beautiful movie. I mean, the music, the sets, the costumes, like everything about this movie is like perfection in my eyes. I don't really have any issues with it, so it's kind of hard for me to talk more in depth about it. Yeah.
Jack, your mic is being weird. It's making like a weird
Sorry,
noise.
I'm taking it off. My bad. Better?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, sorry. It was probably just me moving my head around in there. I apologize to our
no, it's good.
Fantastic viewers.
I was just trying to figure out what it was.
That's me.
All right. I texted Charles because he got mad at me that I didn't give this 5 stars. I think this is a great film. I think it is so impressive. Like, if you gave me everything in this and was like, is this 5 stars? Yes. Except for the Frodo and Sam bits, which I think hurt this film and bring the pacing to like a shocking stop. Like, the stuff with them in the cave and like the stuff that Sam is doing. I just like Sam is great, but the Frodo and Gollum of it all, it just doesn't. It's just not for me. Like I love everything else so much that like they are so much lower that I just don't care. But then at the end they bring it around and I do care because like when Sam, like Sam, when Sam has his heartfelt goodbye with Frodo, I don't care that Frodo is leaving. I care that Sam cares. And like that is like a testament to like how good this is, that like they can make me care about a character mourning the loss of a friend who the friend I did not really care for. I just thought it was very, very impressive. Aragorn going and accepting his destiny of who he actually is. He is destined to be a king that he just had to run away from. It was so perfect and done in such a like amazing way where it's like they will follow you. And then he immediately leaves them and they're like, they're not following him. And it's like, oh, who are they talking about? The Ghost Army, which was just the coolest army ever when they pulled up. Like Gandalf has some awesome moments with the sword in this. Honestly, the MVP might be Pippin. Pippin from half court, just taking shots and burying everything. I was just beyond impressed with this. But I think the Frodo stuff just brings it down so much that it hurts it. And then to the point where I do give it 4.5. I gave it 85. I think it's my second favorite of the trilogy. Might be my first at points. But like it is so, so good.
The battle at the Black Gate. So I think
underwhelming. Can I say it's underwhelming? Is that it? Compared to what we got?
Well, so the battle at the Black Gate.
Helm's Deep, we had the battle of whatever it was, and now they're at Black Gate. And you're like, here we go, here we go, and then it just like it kind of is over.
The battle at the Black Gate. I mean, the point of it wasn't to be. The point of it was a distraction. Like they weren't defending anything.
I wish the Ghost Army was there. The Ghost Army.
If the Ghost Army was there, then it wouldn't have been a fight.
Yeah, the Ghost Army was so good. They were so much better.
So okay, before the Battle of the Black Gate, when they're all standing there and Aragorn starts to walk towards the eye, you're like, oh,
ready
shit.
to roll.
And then he turns around and he's like, for Frodo, and just charges. And then the hobbits follow like next, like it's just the two of them running. And then everyone goes, ugh. And then at the end, when they're all at Gondor or Minas Tirith, and like everyone's bowing to Aragorn, and then it's just the hobbits.
Yeah.
And he's like, you bow to no one. Ah,
so good.
Fired up. Gets me fired up.
Yeah, it is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that part gave me goosebumps. I mean, there's like, I want to say I agree with you, Hunter, on parts of the Frodo bits. I don't think I'm like completely zoned out. I'm just like, I think I'm kind of tired of Frodo being an absolute dick to my boy Sam.
Yeah, like Sam is the dude. Like Sam, and you're like Gollum's in his ear. Like, actually, the thing that I love more than anything else that you have, I think he wants it. And he's like, Frodo's like, yeah, you know what? You're right. I think he does. Like, dude.
And I think it's very apparent that Gollum is the glue. I think Gollum holds this movies. I think he holds these movies together like perfectly. Because I think this idea of a corrupt person, like a corrupt hobbit that got the ring and kind of delve into madness is really the reason Frodo keeps him there. You know what I'm saying? Because he wants to know that like he can still be good once he gives up the ring. The problem is that at the end of the movie, he can't give it up.
Yep.
And he's going to keep it. But guess who comes to save the day? Greedy old Gollum. You know, he wants the ring for himself. And if Gollum wasn't there, the ring would still exist.
Yeah.
Gollum is amazing.
Yes. So so my CGI thing. Jack, what was yours? Because mine is in this movie and it's right away.
Okay. So mine isn't right away. You want to say yours first?
Mine is when it's Gollum as Smeagol fishing with his buddy and the dude gets pulled in the water. And as the dude is getting pulled in the water, it's like him in the water, like, but you ever seen that video of like the monkey swimming in the water? It was like on Twitter a lot, or like go to like Monkey was swimming. That's what it looks like. It looks awful.
Okay.
Like it looks so fake. It's like the only thing with this entire trilogy where I'm like, oh my god, like what are they doing?
I don't remember that.
I remember that.
I would pull up that scene if you can. It was just, man, it was so good. What was yours though, Jack?
So mine wasn't necessarily a problem with CGI. I just think it's hilarious. So I'm so sorry, but so many of these characters' names just continue to escape me.
I pulled up. I have a guide pulled up that I'm looking.
I'm trying right now. I could not find one for the life of me. The father of Boromir is
the crappy king. Crappy king.
The steward of Gondor. Yes.
So the steward of Gondor. The scene where he's about to burn his son alive.
Yeah.
Then he proceeds to burn alive, and he runs.
Yeah, him running is great.
He yeets himself off of the mountain, and I'm like, that is awesome. That is so cool. that gets me fired up. That guy went exactly the way that he deserved to. But I was saying earlier, like genuinely, I agree. Like the Frodo parts kind of like make me upset, but like I found myself about halfway into this movie. I'm like, I pull up my notes app and I'm just like, this is amazing. And then I keep going back to my phone. I'm like, I need to make sure I reference this in the podcast. And it just happened over and over and over and over again. And I'm just like, I can't not give this movie 5 stars. And that's where like I found myself, because it was moment after moment that I was just like, I've seen this movie before, you know, like nothing of this is new, but I just continually like felt amazed by the characters and by the story. So that's where I thought, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I want you guys to share your stuff, but I genuinely have a massive thing of notes. Maybe not that massive because I probably mentioned a couple of them earlier. But
I appreciate these movies, I think, more than I like them, if that's a weird take.
That's fair.
Like I like as a fan, I like these movies. I'm not like the biggest Lord of the Rings guy, like it's pretty known. I'm not the biggest fantasy person, so like that is kind of hard for me to get into anyway. But like the fact that they look like this, the fact that this much effort has been put in, like the fact it looks so amazing. Like, how do you not appreciate what this is? Like, I wish blockbusters look at this today. Like the fact that, I hate to be this guy, but the fact that Marvel Cinematic Universe and Star Wars doesn't look like this all the time is ridiculous. Like, this is what these movies should look like. You have the budget, you have the ability, you got to do it. And like this did it to like the most perfect degree it possibly could. And the reason why it's so remembered so well is not only because it's a very extremely well made movie, but that people love how amazing and real it made everything feel. And that's a testament to the filmmaking, you know, actually doing practical sets, taking the time to figure out how to do stuff practically. Like it works so well. Also, I do love when Gandalf is riding his horse with Pippin on it, and like it's clearly a doll, and the doll's just like Gandalf is riding. like Pippin rather have like the worst whiplash in the world, or it's a doll. Also, I do love the moment where what's her name? Eowyn pulls off her helmet and is like, "I am no man." That rocked. That rocked so hard. I'm like. Dude. Like giving a standing ovation in my house. Like I was like, yes, let's
when I watched that, so I showed Jenna these movies and my sister Carolyn, and every time, like or both times, I knew that scene they would just eat it up, and then like it happens, and both of them were like, yeah.
It's so funny how that one is so much better than like movies now. Like I think of Endgame, where it's like,
yeah, that's
Endgame,
what I'm thinking
of. The women moment where it's like, we got him. Like that, it just doesn't work the same as this, and like I just don't get how they don't work the same. Like this one works so well.
It's awesome.
It is so great. I love it.
So something about you haven't read the books, and I haven't finished them. One thing that like there are a lot of things that are different in the books, and what is going on? Oh. There are some things in the book that I think are a lot better, and some things in the movies that I think were adapted a lot better. Like in the books, I think they make Treebeard to be they give him a lot more background, and you kind of realize like, damn, this guy's a badass. Like he's sweet. Whereas in the movies, it's just a tree, you know?
Yeah, he's just like a tree.
Like he's like a slow talking tree that ends up being kind of cool in battle, but like he gets so much more like something like that. I think the book is a little better. But they describe these locations in the books, like Weathertop, for example, in Fellowship, or like Helm's Deep in the book. Also, the Battle of Helm's Deep in the book is like 6 pages. It's like nothing compared to the movie.
Seriously? That's so
Yeah.
lame.
And I don't think reading the book, what they were able to do on screen, like what they were able to kind of fathom and put onto the screen to like remake that location from the book is crazy. Like I would not have been able to come up with anything nearly as incredible as the locations that they made for the movies. Like Weathertop. Do you guys remember that when all the Nazgûl stabbed Frodo?
Yeah.
On the top. That place was awesome. Like with the fog and kind of like the ruins at the top of the mountain.
Yeah, sweet.
It's so cool. And you read it in the book and you're like, how are they able to adapt that like so well? So it's
All right,
it's a
can you
newfound
explain-
appreciation.
Can you explain this to me? The elves stink. The elves
Why?
sold.
Why?
They should have been there. They should have been fighting. Like, why were they
No.
not fighting?
So the whole thing about the elves is
The
they
elves were there
fought
at the
in the-
beginning.
they fought in the First War and they felt betrayed by the race of men because
Yes, but
they
then-
did all that work and all of that work amounted to nothing because the weakness of men prevailed.
Yes,
because
because
Isildur kept the
Elrond
ring.
fumbled.
Why?
Okay, you had Isildur and you had Elrond standing there where Sam and Frodo stood, and he's holding it over and he's like, "All right, throw it in," and then Elrond was like, "I think I'm good." Whatever his name is like, "I'm good. I'm actually gonna keep it." Elrond should have been like, "Actually, no, you're not gonna keep it," and just made him throw it in there. Like Elrond could have stopped him very easily. And also, Elrond later then comes to Aragorn and gives him the sword. So like they're very approving of what Aragorn is doing, and they know like that man has now kind of turned a new leaf. I feel like they should have been there fighting.
See, like
I feel like that would have
understand.
been a sentiment where it's like, we know that you're on the right path, and that's why we're here again.
I see Elrond's point of view a little bit though, because they fought in the First War. They lost so many lives, and then men failed them. So in this, is Elrond's like, Sauron's coming back. He's gonna, if he prevails, like same thing's gonna happen. We're gonna leave. Like we're outie because we don't want to lose more people. Because elves live a lot longer. Like those people were still alive from the First War. They remember it.
Yeah.
So they don't want to lose more lives because men are gonna sell again. So they're like, you know what? Like we fought in the first one. We can't lose anyone else.
Okay. I understand. And then they just leave.
Yeah, they went on the boats and left. That's why they were all walking in like that really like kind of white, like everyone was dressed in white.
Yeah, I love whenever they show up. It's like Vaseline was like put on the screen. Like looking through like a little filter. But yeah, no, So what did we give Return of the King out of 100? I gave it 85. No, I think I might give it 87. I'm thinking about it. And I think 87 is more fair.
Dude.
I'm not a big fantasy guy. Like the fact that it's this high, it should be like, whoa.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a 95.
100.
Wow.
It's my favorite movie. I have to give it 100.
No, I would be.
I will say,
being honest,
I think it was like a roller coaster for me. I was like 4.5, 100, or like 4.5, 5, 4.5, 5.
yeah, I was between 4.5, 5, and then
I think the
4.5.
ending. I think I completely forgot the ending where Frodo
leaves. I forgot Frodo left.
I even forgot Gandalf left. And I wrote down this quote because I'm like, this is just. Gandalf says, I will not say do not weep, for not all tears are an evil. I'm like, it's so easy to just say that like not all tears are bad, but he just like says it in the most like prophetic way he possibly could. Like he just spits bars every single time.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I almost cried. Like I was like, just I don't know. I think if I loved these characters a lot more, I would. But I'm glad that, to be completely honest, I'm glad that Sam can live his life.
Sam had a good life.
Selfish individual.
Sam got to get his life
by his side
Got
anymore.
Rosie.
Yeah. Besides that loser Frodo.
Yeah.
God, get him out of here.
This trilogy should be called Lord of the Samwise Gamgee.
Yeah, Sam and Friends.
Yeah, Sam and Friends and their big crazy adventure.
Yeah, Sam and his friend, who we don't like, plus Aragorn and some buddies, go do some cool stuff.
So when
He does his part, though.
When I watched this with my sister, you know, at the end of Fellowship when Sam's drowning to get in the boat.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite CGI moments because you can clearly see that Sam's hair is not wet.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
You can clearly see it's not wet.
That's awesome.
But my favorite. So when I watched that with my sister, and Sam's drowning, my sister Carolyn goes, "God, stupid boy." And I looked at her. I'm like, "Oh, you're gonna regret saying that," because she hadn't seen the rest of the Samwise lore. And then at the end of the third movie, I'm like, "Well," and she's like, "Yeah, okay." Better story in my head, not as good out loud, but
there's a couple like small moments right there where like I get it. It's a big movie. I think it's easy to forget, but the scene where Frodo gets all caught up in the webs and then kind of like comes down later and he sees Gollum and he barely has any webs on him. Like, bro, this guy just got covered. Like, how does this guy only have like 2 webs? I don't know. Maybe that was just me, but like he's fighting his way through the webs, you know, and then he sees Gollum after and he's got like 1 web here, 1 web here, you know, and I'm like, this guy should be like covered, which anyway, it's like a really small bone to pick, but
yeah, it's Lord of the Rings. I'm very glad we did this. I'm glad we revisited it. I had a wonderful time watching these movies again. I'm very, very happy we did this. Great stuff.
Thanks for watching them, guys.
Yeah, no, it was fun.
Glad you enjoyed
it. I did it for you.
Thanks, man.
Looking ahead next week. Oh, real quick. The elections this week. All right, let's give our most anticipated election take right now, starting with Charles. Give your biggest election take.
Go into detail.
Yeah, go into detail about your policy positions, please.
Austin Butler will be our president.
Yeah, I'm writing in Austin Butler for everything. Actually, no, Tom Holland somehow convinced me to write him in for everything. He's incepted himself in my brain.
I don't even think you can vote for him. He's not of age and he's not U.S. born.
I still have to do Glenn Powell then.
I don't think he's of age either.
Is it 35? I thought.
I think Glenn Powell is.
Glenn Powell is 36 years old. He could be the president of the United States, folks. We did it.
There we go.
We did it. Start the campaign now. Yeah, but there's no release next week. So, since we talked about it, do we want to do Eyes Wide Shut?
I may see piece by piece.
Yeah, but for the 3 of us, I'm saying.
Okay.
Or we could do, because it's not the end of Penguin, so we can't do like the Penguin season finale. Like, do we want to do Eyes Wide Shut as our next week review?
Sure.
All right, because
I feel like we could pull another Kubrick out of there.
We could. In 2 weeks, though, is the big one. In 2 weeks is the big one. It's Red One, baby. Let's go, Red One. Let's go, Red One. And then I guess the following week is Gladiator and Wicked, but like Red One, baby.
The Red One popcorn bucket? Yeah, my room's going to be so full. I'm going to be drowning in them.
Thinking that I need to mortgage my house for a Red One. So yeah. All right, let's do that. Let's do Eyes Wide Shut next week. Maybe another Kubrick. We'll discuss off pod, but then we're basically packed from there on out. We got Red One, Gladiator 2, Wicked, Moana 2, Night Bitch, Y2K, Kraven the Hunter, Lord of the Rings again, Sonic, and Mufasa, and then Baby Girl, and Nosferatu, and A Complete Unknown. And then we're back to the new year. So we're packed for the rest of the year. But next week's our last kind of option. So I think we should do Eyes Wide Shut. All right. That's it. That's all I got. Anything else? No?
No.
All right. Go Lions. Big win. Go Hoosiers. And tonight, go Colts.
Go Colts!
Take on those Vikings. All right. Well, enjoy, everyone. Have a great week. Be kind to one another. And, you know, the Hobbits are going to Isengard, so better head there as well. All right. For Charles, for Jack, and myself, we'll see you next week. Goodbye.